So today I've decided to create a series where basically going to be trading on a prop firm challenge, and what I want to be doing over the next few days or however long it takes before I pass this challenge is I want to break down every single trade that I take, whether it's a win or whether it's a loss. I want to be very, very transparent, and I want to go through the overall thought process and reasoning to why I executed a particular trade, and I will also be discussing the psychological aspect of it as well. So I'm going to keep it very real, very transparent. I specifically trade Orderflow, so I kind of want to get you guys to understand how I use Orderflow. Everyone has their own way of applying Orderflow to their trading, but I feel like if I break down every single trade, you guys will understand how I use it, and maybe you can apply it to your own trading, including bias, including time frames. I'm really going to break it down very thoroughly. So I've got my laptop here currently, and I don't usually trade here, but it's quite difficult to film in my office. So if I just start recording now, so here you can actually see the trade that I took today, my first trade on my funded account. You can see that it made $320. So I don't actually know the risk to reward, but I risked 200. So I risked 200 to make $320. I usually target between 1 and 2 RR. I like to just get out the trade straight away. So if we just hop onto the chart, so the first thing is, so if you actually go to my previous video, I actually described how I create my bias. So what I did today was I basically got into my chart, and I actually remembered from yesterday when I plotted the weekly charts. So I basically plotted out previous week and the week before, and I saw that there was a bullish trend because the point of control has shifted upwards. So long term, I was bullish. I then got onto deep charts. That's what I execute, and that's what I do my analysis on. I basically got onto deep charts. If we now expand this, perfect. So that's actually the trade that I took today. I traded on MNQ. You can't actually see it here because it says NQ. But anyways, so I plotted out the weekly ones, and I compared the previous week to last week, previous week to the week before. I saw that the point of control shifted upwards, so I was bullish long term. Now I did the same for the previous day and the day before. It's currently Tuesday, so I marked out Mondays and Fridays volume profile, 9:30 to 4 o'clock, because I only trade the New York session. And I can see here that represented by the pink line, that the point of control shifted upwards. So that is supporting my bullish bias. Now, I then got onto the New York session today, and I basically opened up a developing volume profile, and something really weird happened, right? And so what I mean by this, if we zoom in, we can see that the developing profile starts off at 9:30 because that's when New York session starts. And I saw that the point of control shifted upwards again. So initially, right, I was only buys. I was like, yeah, only buys. Establish, I am bullish. And what actually ended up happening is, after New York open, price significantly dropped down. So I hear these yellow lines represent the value area high of yesterday, and I marked out the value area high. I can just show you underneath. So these are yesterday's value. These are yesterday's areas. Let me just put that in. Oh, I don't know what color to do it. I should it in blue. Yeah, I think blue would be easier to see. So I basically just marked out the previous days, and I saw this, right? Now, you can also look at previous weeks as well for these levels, but I just like to stick to the daily. The daily was quite close, so I didn't need to. I only ever go check the weekly previous week levels if we're quite far from the previous day, but we were aligning with we were very close to the previous day, so I just looked at the previous day. So over here, you can see when New York sessions began, right? We quite quickly, we could see that price had quickly and very strongly just gone straight through yesterday's value area high. Okay, so already I'm like, oh, my bullish bias isn't being respected. So I didn't jump to short straight away. Like, I was still bullish at this point. So then I was like, okay, so we'll see a rejection of like a high volume node. So maybe like this whole area over here. Let me just show you. So I was kind of looking for a rejection of this level, because that is a high volume node. It went right through it. It closed literally below it. And I was like, so that's being disrespected too. So I'm thinking, okay, my bullish bias really isn't being respected right now. So then I then went for another higher time frame area, which is this high volume node. That was disrespected too. Over here, like, it literally closed below at the value area low. So at this point, I'm thinking like I was kind of actually waiting for price to, just to reject off this high value node and go back to the upside. But no, it completely went through it and closed below. So at this point, I'm thinking, because my two higher time frame areas are being disrespected, I am now open to taking shorts, but I'm not immediately taking shorts. So I then mark out this low volume node, and I kind of see a rejection of it. And I'm thinking, oh, okay, we're rejecting off the low volume node. But this just shows that actually we're shifting to a bearish structure now. But I didn't immediately just get in there. I looked for I went down onto the 3 minute. We are already on the 3 minute actually. And I saw a fair value gap right over here. You can see it here, I would have it marked out. So I saw a fair value gap. So look, it rejected the low volume node here on that red area, rejected the low volume node over here. And then over here, price went all the way back up and then rejected this 3 minute fair value gap as well. And we did it twice as well. That fair value gap, yeah, we rejected it. Yeah, it rejected it. So I actually got in at this strong rejection from the 3 minute fair value gap, which was actually aligning with the low volume node as well. So let me just put this in a different color. I don't know, yellow. That's fine. So we've got an imbalance and we've got a low volume node basically aligning with one another. And then, so this is like, I don't just get in here, right? I then zoom in. I think I stayed on the 3 minute actually for this. And yeah, I got into the 3 minute here. And essentially what I saw was absorption right here. Now, absorption is when you got quite big figures for the selling and the buying side for in comparison to the rest of the figures. So if you look here, you can see 712 and 575. Those figures are quite large compared to the other figures surrounding it on the candle. So you've got like 177, 135. So I was like, okay, absorption is happening. And then I saw a strong rejection, like it was literally just going to downside. And I got in right here and I put my stop above the low volume node. And I targeted, to be fair, it was a market order, so it wasn't exactly 1.5, it was a bit less than that. But that was my overall trade. So yes, I saw absorption happening, and not only that, but I also saw a high selling, it's over here, 7.2 minus 4. I think the selling delta, when I entered, it went up to like minus like 9 or something. It didn't close at it, but to be honest, if we went onto the 1 minute, see, look, 2.5 and a minus 9. Anything more than like a minus 8, I will get into, because that's quite high. Anything less than 5 or less than, yeah, I'd say around less than 8, I won't get in, because I need to make sure that sellers are definitely in control here, and they were in control. So I decided to get in here. It did actually reject off the 3-minute, price went back up to 3-minute fair value gap, and also the low volume node, and it rejected again because of the absorption, and it went straight through the value area low of yesterday, and there you go. And then I just targeted a 1.5. There wasn't really any sort of structure. I just targeted a 1.5 for like risk to reward reasons. But it was quite a quick trade, to be honest. Quite a quick trade. Look, there it is. That's the trade. It wasn't exactly 1.5 because I got in because it was a market order and I didn't really, like, I'm just trying to find it now. MNQ, there it is. Yeah, I won't be able to tell exactly. But you can see here $320, and I risked 200 to make that. So that was the whole trade. Quite a quick trade. And you can see that acceptance has happened now. Acceptance has definitely happened because we are literally like flying to the downside. So yeah, that was my thought process behind it. In terms of emotions, I was getting quite emotional. I was like feeling quite emotional when it was rejecting the, when it went back to reject that low volume node. I was like, oh my God, like it was really testing my patience, but just trusted it, didn't get out of the trade, just trusted my analysis, and there we go. For a slightly higher probability trade, I think waiting for that value area low retest would have been even better. But I mean, like a fair value gap, like an imbalance pullback would have been good at that area. But I felt quite confident because the trend was like very bearish. And we had like rejections on like the higher time frame, clear rejection. I think it was on the 5-minute. Like if we go onto the 5-minute now, like that's such a strong rejection from that low volume node. Like it's in a specific area, and I kind of knew from there that we were definitely going lower. So yeah, that was my whole setup. This is literally how I trade every single day. I'm always thinking about price acceptance. I'm always thinking about order flow, and also my bias, and always comparing the developing profile to the previous day. And that is it, literally. If you guys want to see more trade recaps like this, please comment, because I don't know if it's useful. I feel like it's useful. I used to find these kind of videos very useful when I was learning about order flow. So please let me know, drop a comment, like, and subscribe. I'll see you later.